In this episode, we're going to be talking about the harmony and the form of Whisper Not by Benny Golson. Keep an eye out for a new video coming out on the melody. It's actually going to be a chord melody lesson video on the YouTube channel. We are in the key of 3 flats and we have an AA, BA form. Each A section has a slightly different ending. So let's take a listen to a few of these chords. We have a C minor 7. I'm playing this in position 8. Now we move to C minor 7 over B flat. So we run into a slight challenge there when we play C minor 7 and then move to B flat. If we keep our same upper voicing, then we duplicate one of our voices and we reduce the total number of notes to just 3. So what I'm doing here is moving to an inversion of C minor 7. And this is a drop 3 voicing. So basically get C minor over B flat. The thing that's really pretty interesting about this is that when we go to the next chord, we can keep the C minor 7 triad and move that B flat down a half step. Okay, so again, C minor 7, drop 3, C minor 7 over B flat, also drop 3, and then the A minor 7 flat 5. So it creates a nice motion for the root notes in the bass line. We get to D7 flat 9. So that forms a 2-5 in G minor. So here we can do a pretty similar thing. I'm going to go over to a drop 2 voicing here in 10th position. And then we put this into an inversion so that we can place G over the F. So, or G minor rather, over the F. G minor 7 over F. So if I'm in 7th position, playing this voicing, and then I move to that E minor 7 flat 5, very similar to before, I can just change the lowest tone down a half step to get the E minor 7 flat 5. And then we can go to A7. And then into D minor, and we have this kind of same chain of events here on D minor. Okay, but then the progression goes in a slightly different direction. We get E minor 7 flat 5 back to the A7. And then to the D minor, and we kind of walk up with our voicing. So I'm going from D minor 7 to E minor 7 to F minor 7 and then G7 flat 9. That forms the first A section. So that G7 flat 9 will tend to want to go to the C minor where we started and where we'll begin our next A section. So let's begin again. So we know about this bass movement. C minor over B flat, A minor 7 flat 5, D7 flat 9, G minor. I'm getting that motion going down. This time I'll go to 11th position on the A7 flat 9, and then the D minor 7, D minor 7 over C, and then we're going to have E minor 7 flat 5, the A7, and then D minor again. So we get to F minor 7, and rather than going to the G7 flat 9, we're going to go to B flat 7. And this propels us into the B section. This tune really requires us to be able to navigate minor 2 5s, or the minor 7 flat 5 to the dominant 7 flat 9 type of 2 5, both when playing chords and when improvising. So as a practice tip, focus in on those moments, those 2 5 motions. Let's check out the bridge here. We have A minor 7 flat 5. We have a D7. We can put C over E. This gives us a little motion. So let me talk a little bit about that. Let's say we have D7. Let's drop to position 5. Okay, and then I'm still in position 5, do C over E, and then move to position 7. Play the first inversion of D7, and that gives you the D7 over F sharp and the G minor 7 in position 10. Then we're going over to C7. Okay, so a little bit of 2 5 motion there. Another 2 5 here. This is a minor type 2 5. We got E minor 7 flat 5 to A7, or A7 flat 9. And here we get into some circle of fifths. So we have D minor 7 flat 5 going to G7 with a flat 9, although I'm not including it in this voicing. So that E to A to D to G, we have circle of fifths root motion. And we can split those up into 2 groups. We have 2 5 with the E minor 7 flat 5 to the A7, and the D minor 7 flat 5 would be a 2 5 as well. So you can see that leaves us with the G7, which is going to have a tendency to want to go back to C minor. So that's where we end up. We've got C minor 7 over B flat, that A minor 7 flat 5 to the D7 flat 9, G minor 7 over F, E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 or A7 flat 9, D minor 7, D minor 7 over C, then E minor 7 flat 5 here for the final ending to A7, D minor 7, D minor 7 over C, and then the A flat 7 to the G7. A couple of takeaways that I hope to leave folks with. When you're copying within a rhythm section, you may not necessarily need to or even want to play these root movements, but work them out in your practice session so that internally, when you choose not to use them, you can still visualize where they are kind of running across the neck during the progression. That can help guide your voicings. And it is important to be aware of these. We can't really simply just say, well, the bass will take care of it and that's about it. Well, that's an issue because we want to have voicings that coordinate with the bass. So like we talked about on the C minor 7, rather than holding the C minor 7 for 4 beats, try at least one different inversion, or one that may exclude the bass note that is being played by the bass player. That way you can fill out the sound. And then you can also stay on chord voicings that apply to more than one chord. So right, this one here, we've got C minor triad, which we can apply to the C minor 7 over B flat. We can also apply it to the C minor 7 over the A. And that gives us the A minor 7 flat 5. It's also helpful to keep as many voicings the same as possible. So when we go to the D7 flat 9, we can really keep these upper two voicings the same and change this lower tone. So let's hear that with the bass note. So, right? And then we have some control and stability over the voice leading. Now, once you're in solos, maybe comping for another musician, you may want to move up and react to their range, where they're headed, or create some excitement by going either down or up and have that control element. So we wouldn't necessarily always want to limit ourselves to staying the same, but having the ability to do that, staying with some of the same tones, really helps us get into voice leading and having a little element of control over what we're doing. Now, as far as improvisation, some good starting points. We can always play C minor pentatonic on the C minor 7. That's going to work very effectively. We can do the same on G minor. And we can also play in 7-note scales. Given our key signature, those will both be compatible with that. As I said earlier, some of the 2/5s, it takes maybe a little more knowledge on those. So work at being able to play from the harmonic minor or the melodic minor type sounds on the dominant 7s in particular. Practice sounds like Phrygian dominant, altered scale, to really get into that sound. Now, there are some moments where it really steps outside the key signature, like on this D minor 7 to E minor 7, right? So you can work with arpeggios there to help you with those moments. Also, work with the circle of fifths, right? So if we have E minor 7, flat 5, A7, and then we end up with a D minor 7, it's going to be helpful for us to be able to borrow from the key of 1 flat in that instance. When we have progressions like A minor 7, flat 5, and D7, flat 9, we can borrow from the key of 2 flats. And then when we're on the D minor 7, flat 5, and G7, we're already working with our current key signature of the key of 3 flats, but that's where you'd want to work with, just like the other ones, harmonic minor and or melodic minor to work with the leading tone in minor. So I'll mention one more chord change. The flat 7, or the A flat 7 to G7, okay, which forms a flat 6 to 5, is a common progression for a minor 1 chord. So a really effective chord scale there from melodic minor is called Lydian dominant on the A flat 7. Thanks so much for listening to this talk. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what's working for you or if you have any questions. Join us for our Sunday live stream on YouTube, where I'll be taking questions and talking a little bit more about this tune or really any type of guitar and improvisation topic you'd like to cover. This content is made possible by supporting followers of the YouTube channel. If you would like to contribute as well, please join our Lessons and Talks membership on the YouTube channel at Fretprints. And there you'll be able to watch a video edition of this podcast. Thanks again and have a great practice session. I'll see you all in the next one.